Pokemon is a brand known for its lighthearted adventures in a mystical world filled with amazing creatures. From the video games, to the TV show, to the card game, the Pokemon brand generally has a bright and happy tone, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes, Pokemon just loves to hit us right in the feels. Hi, my name's Indigo, and today we're going to talk about 7 depressing Pokemon cards. Starting us off at number 7 is Almanite from the Legend Maker set. We have a sad little Almanite with a tear rolling down his eye with 2 other Almanite in the background. It's unknown if these other 2 Almanite are friends or something more, but their relationship seems to evoke some deep, saddening emotion from our main Almanite. Of course, we feel bad for our little Pokemon here. He's clearly being left out in some way, which is driving it to shed a tear. Now, we don't talk about the fact that the tear is visible while underwater, which is kind of weird to think about, but still the art does a great job of pushing the idea that Almanite is lonely or feeling left out. From all the other card arts and animations of Almanite, he's always happy and seems to be an adventurous sort, so to see him like this really tugs at the heartstrings. I certainly hope someday we get a follow-up to this card where we see the Almanite playing with the other 2 and they're all happy. Next up, at number 6, is Mimikyu from the Cosmic Eclipse set. Somewhat similar to Almanite, we have perhaps an even more lonely little Mimikyu. It's hiding behind a tree, gazing towards something or someone. To understand this card a little bit more, here are the Pokédex entries from the Pokemon Sun and Moon games. Pokemon Moon's Pokédex entry reads, "A lonely Pokemon, it conceals its terrifying appearance beneath an old rag, so it can get closer to people and other Pokemon." And the Pokemon Sun's Pokédex entry reads, "Its actual appearance is unknown. A scholar who saw what was under its rag was overwhelmed by terror and died from shock." So to me, I think this little Mimikyu is hiding away while looking out towards a trainer or other Pokemon. It's shy due to the fact that its appearance causes harm to those who see it. So Mimikyu hides away behind a tree even though it longs for a friend. If we dig a little deeper, I believe this card could be a 4th wall break where Mimikyu is shyly looking towards the owner of this card. It wants to be your friend, but worries for your safety, as all the poor Mimikyu knows is that it causes harm to those around it. On to number 5 here, we have Shipe from the Chilling Reign set. At first glance, we have a Shipe out in a cold and snowy city at night. From what we can tell, most appear to be in their homes, leaving the Shipe to its lonesome. Now, ghost types in the Pokemon games generally have a more melancholy and, no pun intended, haunting Pokédex entries. Shipe is no exception. Here's what Pokemon Ultra Sun has to say about Shipe. It eats up emotions like malice, jealousy, and resentment, so some people are grateful for its presence. From this entry, we can observe that Shipe has a symbiotic relationship with humans. Those who have the negative feelings provide nourishment for Shipe, and Shipe consumes those negative feelings, relieving the burden of those who have the negative feelings. Now, let's look back at the setting of this image. It's snowy, wintertime in the city. The Shipe looks dejected and sad as it is alone outside. What I believe is happening is that due to the time of the year, winter or the holiday season, people are generally much happier than usual, thus making the negative emotions that the Shipe consumes more scarce than normal. It also must deal with the fact that it is alone and in the cold while it looks for its next meal. Though I never wish for anyone to have negative feelings, I never want a poor Shipe to feel alone or go hungry. And at number 4, we have Psyduck from the Team Rocket set. For this Psyduck card, we can plainly see that this Psyduck is in distress and quite possibly pained by one of its well-known headaches. For those who don't know, a Psyduck's headaches are also the result of its psionic powers. It's a sort of a catch-22 for the poor Pokemon, unfortunately. Though it is immensely powerful from its psychic abilities, it causes headaches for Psyduck, and because it causes headaches, its powers at times lose control due to the pain of the headaches. The Pokédex in Pokemon Sun reads, "As a result of headaches so fierce they cause it to cry, it sometimes uses psychokinesis without meaning to." I believe that is exactly what we are seeing in this Pokemon card. Psyduck is being racked with a strong headache and is rearing trying to control its psychic abilities, causing the Pokemon harm in the process. No one wants to see a Pokemon in such distress, and we are left only hoping that the little guy can power through and get some relief. Third up to bat is Wooper from the Aquapolis set. Why does the Pokemon Company feel the need to make the happiest Pokemon sad? I mean, it's Wooper. You know Wooper is supposed to be a happy little derp, right? Why is he sitting alone with the biggest frown on his face? Look at these other cards of Wooper. Here's one where he's just minding his own business, happily might I add, walking along the beach. Here's one where he's enjoying a nice hot spring. Heck, let's get a Paldean Wooper in on the joy. I mean, look at him, enjoying sitting in the rain of all things. So then I ask why? Why is Wooper so sad in this particular card? Is he alone because he was abandoned? Is he having the worst day of his life? Who knows? He's just sad and it makes me sad, and now I'm sharing it with all of you to make you sad. You're welcome, I guess. And at number 2 we have Charmander from the Burning Shadows set. Pokemon really knows how to hit us with an emotional gut punch every now and then, and this card definitely does that. Here we have a fan favorite, Charmander, sitting in the rain alone, looking off in the distance with a saddened expression. From this image, we can't help but draw ties to the Pokemon anime series where Ash meets his Charmander. It's an emotional episode where Ash and the gang meet this poor Charmander on the side of the road. After some communication from Pikachu, Charmander is waiting for its trainer to return. As the episode progresses, the group meets Charmander's trainer Damien, who reveals that he abandoned his Charmander for being too weak. This enrages the group, who after a confrontation with the trainer, rush off to rescue the Charmander from the rain. This event leaves Charmander with abandonment and trust issues that linger for some time in the series. It's one of the most emotional episodes of the series, dealing with themes of abandonment and trust. As the series progresses, we see Charmander, eventually Charizard, grow to trust again, but we cannot overstep the event that developed the emotional scars. Thus, this card hits us right in the gut, remembering the endeavors Charmander had to endure. It also reminded us that we hate Damien, wherever he may be. Finally, at number 1 of the saddest Pokemon cards, we have Cubone from the Breakthrough set. Who doesn't know the story of Cubone? It's a small Pokemon who wears the skull of its deceased mother. It's emotional and unnerving, all bundled up in a cute Pokemon. And the Pokemon Company just loves to remind us of how sad Cubone's story actually is. In this card, we see a mother hugging her daughter in her lap at an amusement park. All nice and innocent, right? Well, guess what's front and center? A sad little Cubone mimicking the mother and daughter duo, but with the bone of its mother. What a heartbreaking card, and all I have to ask is why? Why does the Pokemon Company think that this is an okay thing to do to us fans? I mean, really, does the Pokemon Company just love to upset its fans using beloved Pokemon like Cubone? Not just the fact that it's hugging its mother's bone, it's also the mother-daughter duo in the background enjoying their day at an amusement park. Well, I for one am not amused, Pokemon. You hear me? Not amused. Well, that's all we have time for today. Let us know if you agree with our picks, and if there are any other Pokemon cards or moments that put you in the feels like these cards did for me. My name's Indigo, thanks for watching, and I need to go lay down after this one. Have a great day.